would be rounded up and taken to the county jail. That probably sounds ridiculous. But that's not too far off from what's been happening to people with addictions and mental illness. Like diabetes and heart disease, mental illness and addictions are diseases. But while people with diabetes and heart disease are generally treated in doctors' offices and in hospitals, it's jails and prisons that have become the primary repositories for people with addictions and mental illness. Thanks to a concerted effort by this community, by everybody here, in fact, that changes today. The people here and many others, including Councilman Mike Gallagher, David Mattia, Holly Gallagher, Judge Michelle Early, Joan Sinnerberg, Nancy McDonald. I could go through a whole list of people that have worked collaboratively together to bring about a major culture change. A culture change that recognized that addictions and mental illness are diseases that should be treated by the healthcare system, not in the criminal justice system. When the police pick up a person with an addiction or mental health disorder and who commits a low-level, nonviolent offense, like trespassing or disorderly conduct, they often bring them to the jail because there's nowhere else to take them. Jails and prisons in Ohio and all over the country, as a matter of fact, are packed with people who should not be there. People who could be stabilized and treated and returned as productive members of the community. That's what this diversion center will do. This will be the first diversion center in Ohio, not in the country. This has been modeled after other successful programs like the one in Bexar County, Texas. The Bexar County program has enhanced access to needed services, reduced recidivism, and saved taxpayers millions of dollars. The state of Ohio views our project as a potential model and has awarded us $1.7 million so far to make this a reality. In a moment, you'll hear more details from our experts about how this program works. Each of the speakers that you'll hear from played a key role in helping this come together. And there are many others too. If we filled everybody on the speaker's role that played an important part, we'd be here for all day. As it is, this is going to go a while. But I have to mention a few. This could not happen without the support of County Council, and especially former President Dan Brady, current President Pernell Jones, and Public Safety Committee Chair Mike Gallagher. The county's former law director, Bob Triazzi, got the ball rolling on this effort, and he's here today. Thanks, Bob, for coming and for all you did. Randy Carney, who you just heard from, our Chief of Special Operations, has been the county's point person on the project. And Chief of Staff Bill Mason has made sure this became a reality. When I was first trying to entice Bill to come join me at the county, he described his vision of diverting people with mental illness and addiction problems out of the criminal justice system through a diversion center and a related program, Central Booking. I told Bill, funny you should say that. And here we are today. I also want to thank Rick Chiricosta, CEO of Medical Mutual, who's been spending many hours helping to raise money for this project. Rick is a great community leader, and I can't thank him enough for his very active support. And again, I want to thank Oriana House, which is running the day-to-day operations of the center. Frontline applaud for Oriana. Jim Lawrence is here somewhere. Frontline Services, which is running the 24/7 police helpline. The Adams Board, which is integral to the oversight of this facility. Curtis Pulitzer and his consulting team. Metro Hospital, which helped tremendously with the planning. Many members of the clergy, some of whom you see here today. The county and city prosecutor's office. You'll hear from Prosecutor O'Malley, who played a very key role in this in a moment. The county public defender, county and city law enforcement. That's you guys. Cleveland and suburban municipal courts. You'll hear from Judge Early in a moment. The County Police and Fire Chiefs Associations, Cleveland City Council, and again, our own County Council, among many, many others. So I want to thank everyone. This is a truly collaborative community effort to make this happen and to make it work. And now I'll turn the program over to Brandy Carney to introduce our next speakers. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. We have a few welcome words from City Councilman Bashir Jones up next.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. If you are in love with this project, give a round of applause to everyone here who has made this a reality. Thank you all so much for being here, and welcome to Ward 7. Welcome to Ward 7. This is one of the most revolutionary acts that we can do. I truly appreciate every person who had a hand in this. We have to become a city, a county, and a nation that chooses rehabilitation over incarceration. And that is what we're doing here today. So I want to say to you, welcome. This must be a multicultural effort. This is not a black issue or a white issue, it is a human issue. And once we look at it in that way, then we will be successful. Once again, welcome to Ward 7. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Up next, we have our Cuyahoga County President, Council President, Pernell Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, first, I just want to acknowledge my colleagues. I saw some here. Councilman Mike Gallagher, Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell, and I think I saw Marty Sweeney here. All right. Councilwoman Chantel Brown. All right, thank you. Yes. Anyone else? All right. Councilman Dale Miller. All right. Great. On behalf of all of my colleagues, I'd like to thank the parties who have participated in this project. All the partners involved in this matter, from the planning to the site location to the operations and the funding, have been integral to this project. It's been a long but important journey. As we cut the ribbon on this diversion center, we must reflect on how we got here. For too long, our nation's jails have served as warehouses for those with significant underlying issues: drug and alcohol addiction, mental health disorders, and homelessness are often overlapping issues. Our county jail, plagued with well-documented issues, was no exception. The majority of the inmates in our county jail were struggling with some mental health or addiction problem. We knew we could not continue down the same path, building more jail cells, incarcerating more people. This strategy is ineffective and disproportionately impacts people of color in our cities. The idea of a diversion center to remove those individuals from the criminal system, to divert them to addiction specialists, to housing advocates, to mental health professionals, was one we all agreed was beneficial and necessary. This unites the individual with the resources to treat, rather than simply locking a person up in a cell. We all need to look for collaborative and innovative ways to govern. This diversion center is a shining example of what we can do when we work together. I'm proud to be here today to participate in the opening of this facility, and I look forward to great results from this center. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Up next, we have our County Prosecutor, Mike O'Malley.
Welcome everybody to this wonderful facility that has been built for the citizens of our county. You know, these events more often than not are a bunch of elected officials and hard workers who get together and pat themselves on the back. But in this particular case, that's true, because within our community, nothing gets done unless everybody is on the same page.
That's right.
And we can't have people pulling one way and pushing in another. Back in 2016, after I was first elected, I sat down with a group of people at the Elizabeth Baptist Church over in Slavic Village. And we had some very deep discussions on what we could do to improve the criminal justice system in our county. And after the tragedy of Tanisha Anderson, it was very clear that something needed to be done for individuals who are undergoing some type of mental health issue, besides hauling them off to county jail. Out of those meetings at the Elizabeth Baptist Church, I met some wonderful people who became friends of mine and assisted very greatly in this effort. I want to first of all thank Pastor Richard Gibson, who invited us to his church that day. I don't know if he's here. But I also want to thank Donna Weinberger, who has been... You know, some people push stones up a hill. Donna picked up the stone and carried it. And that is a true story. And Rabbi Robert Nazenchuk, I don't know if he's here, but he was tremendous, as well as Pastor Joanne Zakolvin from Olivet Institutional Baptist Church. But I can tell you, in those opening months of 2016, they really educated to me. You know, I had ideas of what was needed, but they brought it home. And I just want to thank them for their deep work, as well as the Cleveland Clergy Coalition, who also came on board, Pastor Phillips, to assist in this effort. But again, nothing, I can tell you this with absolute certainty, nothing gets done in this community without absolute collaboration from everybody. That includes the county executive, Armin Budish, who grabbed the ball and helped carry it. County council has been tremendous in this effort. I know the GCC had been to county council. You know, sometimes lobbying can be a bad word. I think in this position was actually advocating. And they advocated and educated and really made people aware of what was needed, what was out there, what other cities had that could improve the quality of life within our community for so many people. And that's what happened. And this facility, even though it's the first one, and we're going to have another one that's even bigger and better, is the first step. And, you know, our ultimate goal, it's great to get low-level nonviolent misdemeanors in here, but we also have to strive to work to get low-level nonviolent felons who need mental health or addiction services and get them back into health and get them back into productive members of society and get them back in our streets. And that's what this facility will do. I also again want to thank the people from the safety department, Bill Mason, Bob Corey, Randy Carney, who on the day-to-day efforts have put this all together, as well as the Adams Board. Again, this is a monumental day for our community. I know everybody here realizes that. It's about collaboration, and you see that here today in Cuyahoga County. Thank you.
Thank you, Prosecutor O'Malley. Up next, we have our Cuyahoga County Sheriff, Chris Violent.
Thanks, Brandy. I want to thank Cuyahoga County Executive Armin Budish and the rest of the dignitaries. I'm not going to go into names because if we do that, it'll be like an award show and we'll be all here very, very long today. I just want to share a couple of thoughts with you as the newly appointed sheriff. I have specific and distinct memories of being a municipal police officer and coming into contact with people who were in mental health crisis or needed mental health services, whether that be for a call that happened on the street or sometimes even more often in the homes of the people who were trying to take care of them, their own families. And there was a helpless feeling when you realized that it seemed the only options that were going to be available to you were the emergency room or the jail. And that perhaps you, who had signed up to protect and to serve, were unable to provide any true help at all. I was privileged to become a police chief, and I worked with various stakeholders in updating policies, both regionally and locally, and attempting to find solutions, as it seemed that more and more people over time in crisis were coming into contact with law enforcement, and still there were very few options available. Now, as the county sheriff, it's my role and responsibility not only to support our partners in municipal law enforcement, but also to provide for the care and custody of any citizen who enters into our criminal justice system. I take that responsibility very seriously. I'm deeply aware of how many people incarcerated or otherwise involved in our criminal justice system are diagnosed with mental health issues or require medical or mental health interventions. Therefore, I can't tell you how much I appreciate Cuyahoga County and all of you assembled here for taking the lead with this first in the state type of diversion center, which will provide a vital new tool for law enforcement, provide the most appropriate resources for those in need. Most importantly, this is a path for those who shouldn't be involved in the criminal justice system at all to obtain the most appropriate resources as timely as possible. And as Councilman Jones said, this is a human issue, and we pledge to continue to do our best every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Up next, we have our Court of Common Pleas, Judge Brendan Sheehan.
Brandy told me I had 30 minutes. I don't know what she told the rest of you folks here, but I had 30 minutes. I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to say a few words. Take a look at this building. This building is an opportunity to keep a number of people from spending a few hours, a few days in custody. If we can provide treatment and counseling rather than allowing people to enter the justice system, that is a win for everybody. Do I hear? So many people, as you heard here, so many people commit illegal acts because of mental health, drug addiction issues. But if we can help them, we are all being good citizens. Being in jail or prison is more than being incarcerated. We know from all the studies that just a few days in jail can impact the person's housing, their employment, their mental health. Keeping people from even entering our criminal justice system can help reduce recidivism. And I really mean this building is going to do that. I thought about this so many times, and I think the GCC may have taught me this, but so many times offering a helping hand is better than turning a key in a lock. I applaud the county executive, Mr. Budish, all the folks here that are speaking before you for keeping the conversation on this project going. The Diversion Center will be a learning process for everyone involved. As I say, change is not always an easy thing to do, but change is often the right thing to do. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Judge. Up next, we have City of Cleveland Police Commander Brandon Coops.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brandon Coots. I'm the commander of the 4th District. And on behalf of Chief Calvin Williams and the Cleveland Division of Police, I want to offer our congratulations on the opening of this diversion center today. The City of Cleveland recognizes what a great opportunity this is to partner with Cuyahoga County on this extremely important resource for the Division of Police and our law enforcement partners. You know, currently when an officer encounters a person who needs mental health services or a chance to have assistance coming off of substance, we have limited options. And we know that certainly jail is not the answer for every situation and for most people. The Cleveland Division of Police has officers that are trained in CIT, crisis intervention training, and in fact, 20 years ago, I was in the very first class that was offered to the Division of Police for CIT. In all my years as a police officer, that training still stands as the most positive, impactful experience that I've ever been through. Overnight, I went from confrontation and struggle with people in crisis to being able to recognize, empathize, and communicate with people in order to more peacefully resolve that situation while providing both meaningful and respectful service to the community. The division looks forward to continuing training our officers in CIT, allowing them to be more comfortable and effective when interacting with people in crisis. This diversion center today is a resource that will make a difference not only to our officers, but most importantly to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Commander. Up next, we have City of Cleveland Municipal Court Administrative Judge Michelle Early. Commander, thank you.
On behalf of the judges of the Cleveland Municipal Court, I am honored to be here to celebrate the opening of the Diversion Center. As we are often the first judges to encounter an individual after an arrest, we know firsthand how important this diversion center is to the community. We take great pride in our pretrial services department and our ability to make informed pretrial detention decisions that minimize the length of pretrial detention without ignoring the safety of the community. Oftentimes, people are taken into custody to quickly address a mental health or a substance abuse crisis, causing people in need of care to instead be locked up. By allowing individuals to receive immediate services without detention, the Diversion Center fits into the Cleveland Municipal Court's bond reform efforts to not detain individuals because they are suffering from a crisis. We believe the Diversion Center is a big step towards justice reform. We are grateful for all the partnerships that have developed as a result of creating this Diversion Center, and know that the Cleveland Municipal Court is excited about future opportunities to work with these partners to move towards a more just justice center. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Up next, we have City of Cleveland Chief Prosecutor Aquila Jordan.
What a joy it is to be here in this community today. As I was driving up by, I'm always fond of Huff neighborhood, as this is where my father grew up. And so I stand here before you today so excited that the City Prosecutor's Office is part of this collaboration. You know, I was reflecting upon what people have said, and I think oftentimes we forget that our criminal justice system is supposed to be a system. And a system means we collaborate and work together to bring about impactful changes in that system. For far too long, those who have suffered from mental health and drug addiction have been lost in that system. This is a way for us to help guide them out. For any of us who have had to sit with a victim before and hear them say, I want to get my loved one help. And that charging them is the only way I can accomplish that charging them is what I will do. Today, we are able to present them with an alternative. We are able to say to those community members who we are meant to serve, we have another way for you to help your family members. Trust us with them. This collaboration is about reigniting the trust of our community. It's about reminding our community that we are here to serve all of you, not just parts of you. It is such a privilege for the prosecutor's office to be here today. We are excited to join in this initiative. We are excited to continue to reach out to our victims and say, there is now another option. We will acknowledge the mental health and the drug addiction for what it is, as an illness, and we will help you through it. Thank you so much for all the partners today.
Thank you, Prosecutor. Up next, we have our Cleveland Clergy Coalition Executive Director, Pastor Aaron Phillips.
Good afternoon. I'm going to take those other 28 minutes that Judge Sheehan didn't take. Time you ask a Baptist preacher, particularly, to talk for 2 minutes, that's a huge undertaking. I'm sure you all feel the same way. I am so proud to be a citizen of Cuyahoga County today. Thank you to County Executive Mr. Armin Budish and all of the elected officials, Judge Sheehan, County Prosecutor O'Malley, and all of you who continue to work on this issue. But I really want to thank the grassroots folks, the Greater Cleveland Congregation, and the Cleveland Clergy Coalition, and members of the community who made this happen. This is real police law enforcement reform, and we have seen this reform become a reality because we have worked together. I think that this is just a symbol of what we can do when we come together. This is a time in our nation, especially in our county, where we really need to know how important it is to come together. I have my grandson here. He's 14 years old. I hope that he can see that this is what happens when people come together to solve big problems. We have big problems, y'all, in our community, and this symbolizes that we can tackle and address big problems when we come together. Councilman Jones is exactly right. I'll let you clap. Councilman Purnell Jones and Councilman Brashear Jones are exactly right that this is not a black issue, this is not a white issue, this is a people, human issues, like all issues are. So when we come together, we can solve big problems, and let's continue to do that, whether we're black or we're white, we're Baptist or we're Catholic or whatever our denomination is, male or female, Democrats or Republicans. This demonstrates we can solve big problems when we come together. So let this be a first step in many more steps that we can take to make and transform our community. God bless you.
Thank you. Up next, we have the Greater Cleveland Congregation Criminal Justice Coordinator, Donna Weinberger.
Hello. Well, there may be clouds in Cleveland right now, but we at GCC still think this is an amazing, incredible day. We celebrate the opening of a diversion facility that will change and save lives. We applaud the work of Mr. Budish and his staff. We applaud the work of Mr. Budish and his staff to make this life-changing facility a reality. We thank our allies who worked with us to get to this day. Prosecutor O'Malley, Judge Sheehan, Metro Health, and the Gun Foundation. And we pay tribute to all the members of GCC, many standing right and sitting right here in their yellow t-shirts, who worked for over 4 years to make this a reality. We also, though, remember today the real lives of people from our congregations whose lives were lost. Omer Arrington Bay and the 9 people with mental illness or addiction who died in the county jail. But we in GCC are also people of faith. And so we continue to envision and pledge to act on what might be. We see this facility as only the beginning of a whole continuum of diversion programs to keep mentally ill and addicted people out of the jail. And the beginning of a network of crisis diversion facilities throughout the country. We believe that every community should have a diversion center, just like they have a public school and a public library. Through our national network now, we get calls every day from people in Virginia and Indiana and New Jersey asking, how do we make this a reality in our community? It's incredible to see Cuyahoga County leading the way in the state and the country. GCC pledges to spread this model and this message. And let us say, amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. The last 3 speakers we have are each involved with the day-to-day operations of the new center. We'll start with our Adams Board CEO, Scott Osecki.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It's hard to follow Donna, but I'll try. The Adams Board is really grateful to all of the partners here today for helping make this pre-arrest diversion center a reality. The Diversion Center is an addition to our crisis continuum of care for people living with mental illness and substance use disorders and fulfills the need of quickly providing access to treatment and recovery supports rather than sending a person to jail. We know that too many people with substance use and mental health disorders are incarcerated when what they really need is treatment. After a brief stay and stabilization here at the Diversion Center, clients will be relinked or linked to our network of treatment providers and other community supports to receive continued treatment. The Diversion Center not only helps individuals, but is also a resource for law enforcement when responding to behavioral health-related incidents. For decades, the board has been training officers to intervene safely with someone experiencing a behavioral health issue. The creation of the Diversion Center has provided us with yet another opportunity to expand and offer this crisis intervention team training to every law enforcement officer throughout Cuyahoga County. This is the first diversion center of its kind in Ohio, and we are really looking forward to monitoring it as well as sharing its success. And before I leave, I just want to point out on my mask, it says here, recovery is beautiful. And this is a statewide initiative that all of the boards are working towards. And it just means that treatment is available, treatment works, and recovery is possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Up next, we have Oriana House President and CEO, Jim Lawrence.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oriana House is honored, proud, and excited to have been selected to operate the Cuyahoga County Diversion Center to serve the citizens of Cuyahoga County. It's been a real partnership between the Adams Board and the county and a lot of other individuals to make this happen. So it's been a great day today. I have some Oriana House staff, some of which are here that I'd like to recognize, who have worked very hard in a very short time frame to get this facility ready and to get the staff hired and trained, so we were able to take our first client yesterday. And we'll be taking more clients. As you know, we're open 24/7. And those staff members who are here is Ann Connell-Freund, Mike Randall, Sally Longstreth-Flock, Robin Larson, Misty Funk, and Doug Casper. So some of you don't know, this is Oriana House's 40th year anniversary this year since of our existence and operation. And as I said, we're very proud to be here and operating the division, selected to operate a Cuyahoga County Diversion Center gives us an opportunity to expand our presence in Cuyahoga County and Ohio to a new sector of the criminal justice system, and as I said before, and to serve the citizens of Cuyahoga County. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate all of the support we've gotten so far and all the cooperation to make this diversion center a reality. Thank you.
As Jim said yesterday, we opened our doors at 9, and within the first hour, we had our first patient inside. So, great news. Our final speaker today is Rick Oliver, the Director of Crisis Services for Frontline.
Last but not least. So myself and my colleagues at Frontline Service are very excited about being part of the Diversion Center initiative. This is a very big deal. And I know people have said that, but I have to let you know this is a very big deal for people with behavioral health issues. I've been working, Frontline has been working with law enforcement through our crisis and trauma programs for over 25 years. I've personally been on the phone with law enforcement when they have been frustrated, when they've been called out to someone who's got behavioral health issues and they don't know what to do with them. The emergency room's not right, they don't want to arrest them. So this, finally, they have a resource, a tool in this county to help people who are suffering from behavioral health crises. So I think this is going to be it's going to be helpful for law enforcement, but it's going to be even more helpful and more impactful for those who suffer from mental health and chemical dependency issues. So thank you very much for coming, and I think it's going to work out very well. Thank you.
Once again, I do want to thank everybody. Remember, this is only the first step, so we're all very excited, and thank you for your time today. I would ask if all the speakers could please come up behind the ribbon. We have some pretty great, big, huge scissors to use to cut the ribbon and get some pictures. Thank you, everybody.
I figured you'd want it.
I told them I'd do it with an Etch-a-Sketch. They didn't believe me.